folks, welcome back to Atlantis, and I think, let's pause, today's going to be probably a very pivotal video. I've done some prep, I've catalogued all of your comments on the last one, so we're going to go through all of that, and then we'll start. I'll try and remember to do what I did last time, put a chapter marker in for those of you that want to skip the waffling. So what have I done between videos? So I've put in plans for more housing because we need some more beavers. So if I bring up that, there we go. So we have a stack of, I think it's 9 of the large triple lodges. It's going to be a little bit annoying because we can't put too much well-being on top. I've got some rooftop terrorite, but that's about it because it does run right up to the roof. I'll probably try and put some well-being in front if we don't end up putting more houses in front. I've put provision for another large water tank and some storage for bread and potatoes out the front. You've probably noticed I've put in provision for another dirt excavator here with power coming through the science huts to that. I'll cover what I've done and then we'll talk about your suggestions. This was in fact one of your suggestions. I've paused the gear and plank production over here to make sure that we have enough power to run the dirt excavator we have, because we're kind of okay for gears and planks anyway, and we're kind of short of logs, so this is all built as well, which is going to help with that. I've moved the tunnel out, which means we need to redo some of the tunneling, but the reason for that is I think it will be quicker to, I think this is smaller, so I think it will be quicker to seal this water source in, and just going to double check with dev controls. Interesting. I don't know. Was there a... I thought I saw a countdown activation on something there. But maybe not. Now a little bit paranoid. Let's just go through. I think all of these are, yeah. I don't know what that was. Anyway. So the plan is to block in this guy. Not sure what that was. Anywho, yeah, so we're going to block that guy in. I think that is smaller than this one. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4 high. And that's 1, 2, only 3 high. So we do save a little bit. So I figured that made sense. We only need to block one of these off. I've redone the maths, and if we block one of those off with the 3 of these blocked off and the other stuff we've got blocked off, if we get to about 180 beavers, we'll be eating into the outside water. So that's all of the stuff that I've done preemptively. On to your suggestions. A bunch of you mentioned about making power from this. We need to make it wider because we only have the 2 block wide power wheels, and then we'd have the faff of routing it across. It wouldn't be too tricky because we could probably run it through here. And it's one of those jobs that we urgently need power, but it's not the highest priority to build, I don't think. And in the same vein, a bunch of you, or at least a couple of you, I think, also suggested that maybe we need to get more water flowing into here. I'm not sure if that's a function of the flow limit through this. It kind of looks like it might be, because this is full. Because obviously the channel is not full, so we might need to put another channel to get water in here to maximize the amount of water we're going out. My thought is that probably what we want to do is just check how much water is actually leaving. And so what I thought we would do is just throw some stream gauges across here and just check how much water is actually going out. So that's that. One of you pointed out that I've not done a great job on well-being. Yeah, it's been kind of hard to get that built, and we should have done zip lines, which I agree with. I think it'll be kind of tricky to get zip lines up and out with having to build the dome, but zip lines would have been useful. We might see what we can do with that. A few comments about the food and whether we need more farms. I'm not sure if I do. I'm going to progress to the morning because the slight darkness is annoying. There is a little bit of unharvested food, but not a lot. There's a few potatoes down here. I suspect they'll get those harvested. I don't know. We'll see if we need another farm or not. I'm borderline on if we do. So keep an eye on that. And around diversity of food and maybe putting in aquatic farms. And I'm not averse to that idea. I think if I was going to do that, again, probably want to make use. There was a brilliant suggestion of having a stream gauge in here to check for contamination, and if there was contamination, to close the pond off. And I think I'd probably want to make use of the the gate to just stop beavers wandering in as well. So that was that. Covered the power. The other thing, and we're going to do this one live because this was another brilliant suggestion from you good folks, was to basically recover a bunch of the logs from some of my over enthusiastic building, and to do what we did for some of the new construction and cut the corners. So we'll need to leave those ladders there to get those back. You can go. It's interesting that I didn't cut all of the corners, but I cut some. So yeah, but that'll obviously give us some logs back. No, darn it. I got over enthusiastic. Oh well. I guess we'll want to prioritize rebuilding that jobby. Oops. Lavy, folks. Lavy. It is not the end of the world. What the heck is... Oh, it's inside. Right. So that's all of the waffling. So let's carry on, shall we? And see how we get on. So, yeah. We need to just try and get this wall built. Maybe get the first layer of houses built, or some of these houses built, so that we can... I need to put some path. No, I don't need path. I need then the first layer of that in. Just so we can actually make use of the... or expand the population to the level that we need it to be. because that'd be good. I don't know if I want to try and get to this one as well. I think we should focus on this one out here because it's stronger, but it's a bigger build. It's one of those, you know, kind of catch-22 jobbies as to which we focus on. I'm kind of curious as to what rate this is flowing as well. Now that we've hampered a lot of this. I'm going to throw one there as well, and I might just encourage them to build that for us, just to get that going. I'd really like to get that done, so they're going to get to there. Yep. Cool. They're starting to work on that tower, which is good. I think there would be benefit. I don't know if I want to try and get it done. We've got a lot of science. So these are all, they should all be, and in fact, let's make them. Inventors. We'll put all of the inventors down to lowest priority now, so that we get beavers going in the things that we need them to be going into. And we're going to put in another forester so that we get the planting going, because that'd be useful. That random bit of path can go away. Oh, I put in some more contamination barriers to be built as well. And let's plant the rest of the oak trees over here. Let's make sure I unmarked the pine trees, but I want to make sure that the oak trees are marked to be planted. I also adjusted the rules on the blueberry pickers to up the amount of blueberries we've got picked, and our food is improving, so that's good. I'm just going to keep an eye on whether we end up sat with a lot of food waiting to be harvested. We kind of are. So you are possibly right, folks, and I guess it would make sense to maybe lose some of the food and have it be working more efficiently. But we'll keep an eye on that. Let's keep an eye on that. Right. Is this all being built? It is. That's going back in, which is good. So my thing that I was about to ramble about was, if we... Are there 3 by... Oh, I can go there. Awesome. It's probably going to take them forever to build it, but we've got the science now. So what I'm wondering is if... I wonder if we do it on platforms to not have so many issues. Yeah, like that. Bosh. Yes. And then maybe over here and here. And then maybe we have a drought approaching. That's good. Put one here. And that, at the very least, gives us kind of some speed up of movement. It would probably have made sense to have a station here, but obviously we don't have space for it. And if we don't end up having all sorts of issues with things, we probably want some at the top as well, but you know. Right, I'm going to get them to start to focus on getting this in, because we really, really need to have this closed in, because that's going to give us a bit more time. we have 78 dirt, which is not anywhere near enough to build all of that, but hopefully now this is running continuously. So that would be good if it was. You need to be prioritized by haulers. And possibly now we have some spare beaver. I think we probably want more haulers. Where can I throw a hauling post? Why can I not throw a hauling post in there? I do not know. But I do know that those can go. And then we can probably put a hauling post. That's a district centre. There. And see how that works for us. So let's make that a high priority job. And actually, I'm going to make it a normal priority workplace. Because I think having more haulers is going to help us. So that's got the trees planted. Why are you not replanting those? Are they not marked? They are marked to be planted. Yes, you've just not got round to them. Okay. Fine. You are just waiting to finish being built. So I'm going to speed that up just so that I can see what's going on here. We've got drought coming, which is good because that buys us a little bit more time. Where are we in relation to this now? Because this has been a while and it doesn't really seem like it's going up significantly, which is good. That might suggest my maths is slightly off because we've not built as much as I thought, but I'm not unhappy about that. Beaver maths is, kind of a weird thing, so, yeah. Right, let's make sure they get that built as well so that we can make use of those houses. Yep. Want that done. That's in. Those should get picked up, hopefully, as we need them. The dirt's coming up, which is good, which is then going to be used to build stuff, which is good. The whole circle of life. Well, not really, but, circle of building. That's all got some level of priority, which is good. I kind of feel like, though, we do need to get this next layer built so that we have some survivability. Because that gives us one more chunk. Food is up and down. It's up and down. That does say to me that, these farms both cover it. So I'm kind of surprised that 2 farms is not enough. But what we could do is, 8%. In that case, I'm going to delete you. And we're going to build the farm out over the pond. Like so. And let's just get that done as a bit of a priority. Now, it won't be super optimal with how I've put it in, but they should be able to reach around here. So, yep. How are we looking over here? We have done nothing, but, we can't build everything, folks. That is an impossibility. So, but we are making not insignificant progress on this, which is awesome. We've got 4,000 science, which is also awesome. And we've got a lot of spare beavers, which is equally awesome. So I think what we'll do is let's throw that there. We got our haulers. So I think we'll do gimme. I need to press B to duplicate it. Let's do another few of them. And let's do another hauling post. And let's prioritize building those. And then I'm just going to deprioritize the workplace on the hauling post as well. We've got more beds now, which means we're going to be increasing our population, which is good, which is probably why we are stressing our ability to produce food. But we do have a lot of wheat still. We do not have a lot of wheat flour. So you should be working harder, buddy. And that's probably just because we are, you know, baking a lot of bread. We've got 127 bread, I kind of like. You just need more potatoes brought to you, I suspect. And you'll be busy. So maybe I get you to focus on potatoes until we get this built. And maybe I super high prioritize that because we've got a heck ton of builders. So, you know, and there's only so much dirt. So there is only so much dirt. I feel like we should be doing something with this land because it is irrigated. So, and you can farm it. So maybe let's... There's going to be some issues with contamination, but let's plant a few more potatoes through here. And I think it would not be stupid to plant more trees. And I'm going to plant pine trees for now, just because they grow that little bit quicker. And I'm going to make sure they're all marked for cutting because I don't want them for resin. And we're going to throw in a couple of lumberjacks, and they've got the rules, so that's good. And that will just help with some more lumber in the kind of medium term. Let's make sure you've got a path. And we'll get that built. And we do have some logs, so that's good. That's going in reasonably well. Kind of pleased with that. That's going in somewhat well. So that's good. They're keeping that sort of full. If we finished getting that built, we could then have dirt coming to that one as well, which would probably help. And I suspect in time it would probably make sense to have one there as well. So let's do that. So what's the flow rate through here? It's 1.4, which is not 2.1. Now, we do have 2 sources still flowing in, but that's only a half. So yeah, we could be getting more water moving. Now, I wonder, the limiting factor, I think, is this looks kind of full to me because it's right up to the top. So I wonder if it's this as the drought begins, and then this will eventually fill up. It is also 2% contaminated, which is kind of annoying because even that can cause issues, having done some testing. in terms of like beavers getting contaminated. So yeah, but so we've got a couple hundred food now, which is good. We've got lots of water, which is good. We're into a 6-day drought, which is kind of nice, because that's going to give us a bit of time to do some building. Let's just throw in, let's pause for a sec. Let's throw in a little marker of, and actually I don't think it's gone up at all. So we'll just leave it there. And we've got a lot of this layer built. Awesome. So we do need to put in the, find your words. The watertight passage. Have we got the materials for it? We have. So let's do that. It's going to get unhappy for a bit up the top, but you know, let's make that a high priority, and that'll then reconnect everything. Let's rip those out and those as well, and we'll recover those at some point. They're doing all sorts of random stuff with their pathing, which is interesting. But okay, you know. Yeah, so we do need more water flow, which means... But I don't think it's this that's the limiting factor. I really don't. I think it's where we're bringing the water in, so we maybe need to do some other things that we need to get to at some point, but you know, we can't build everything, folks. As much as I would like to. We've almost got that first layer done, which is pretty awesome. Yeah. So what we want to think about doing then is putting the next layer in. You know, that's how it works. You build one layer, then you build the next layer, then you build the next layer. You can go. You can go. You can go. We'll keep the ladder there because we kind of need that. You can go. You can go. You can go. And I guess while they're working away, we will put that in and that in. That's done, so let's delete that. And I guess we'll let them recover those. Yeah, it's taken a while to get enough water through to that, which is kind of interesting. I guess we could come down the outside and widen and clean this up. You know, we've got half a path anyway. It kind of feels like it would be more sensible to come at it from outside. Insert joke about going in the back. And widening that back passage up. Right. Yes, that's pretty fundamental, folks. So we have a rim job. done. So I think the next sensible step is to fill in all of these. So let's do that. And now we might get to the point where we don't actually need the entire roof, and we can use the roof area we've got built for farming. We'll see how we get on, I guess. All right, you're done. They've recovered the stuff, so let's do that, do that, do that, do that, do that, and put in the same dirt over here. That one, that one, that one, that. I have to be quite careful not to go too far with the dragging of the stuff. That one goes that way, and that way, and that way, and that way. So that's all of that in. We are going to need some staircases. It might make sense to start using ladders here. And run paths. And probably let's put a ladder there and there. Put a path there and there. And out to there. And then the same this side. So let's put... I mean, actually, we can just join that one. And then let's put a ladder there. Path out to there. Path all the way along there. And probably then path along the top. But we'll leave that for now. But what I think we want to do now, because we've brought ourselves a bit of time... They're building their housing, which is awesome. I'm going to prioritize those and those. Those, because I want to get more dirt production going on. We are full on metal. We're actually low on scrap metal now, which is interesting. So let's get a couple more of those guys going. How is our power grid over here looking? That's fine. That's doing better. Awesome. And yeah, I think so. They'll get to working on that eventually to improve that. And I think we also want to get that going in now. So we have a whole bunch of kind of little jobs we need to get done. The food's looking a bit better. Potato-wise, we are currently using all of the potatoes, which is kind of interesting. So assuming we get these in before the next bad tide, I think it would be a good idea to rip those out as a priority, get another farmhouse here and fill this area as well. Let's get you in and we can get those built, and maybe we could look at this aquatic farming thing as well. I mean, this is looking a bit soupy. So maybe what we want to do is put in you. Yes. Let's build you first. And then automate. Do that for now. We'll see what we can do with it once it's in. We might want to put a bad water pump in here just to pull out the contamination that comes in. That might be something that we need to do. Our water is dropping, so it looks like we need another water pump. I guess the obvious thing to do is to replace one of these. That means we can get rid of that as well. So let's come in here, put the platforms in, and put in a large water pump. Let's grab the rules for the automation, put you there, and let's prioritize building you. Because it looks like we need more water now, and we have access to lots of water, so, you know, let's get it being used. Yeah, I kind of think that we do want to be pulling bad water out of here. And I'm kind of wondering if we just have that going as like a low-level task. So, if I do that, yeah, put you there, put you there. I mean, it's not going to be super efficient, but okay. So you're just pausing. You didn't do anything. Okay. If we go rule, can we go set up rules, close, create rule? No. Okay. It doesn't look oh, we can automate it. So I guess if we unlock the contamination sensor and stick that there, and then we close you for now, because I am a little worried about 3%. 3%, you know, contamination can cause issues, folks. As much as people don't think low-level contamination is a problem, it can be. Right, what are we up to, folks? What are we up to? So you just need some treated planks, okay? We've got most of that in, though, which is good. Because that's going to help with the next layer of this stuff. So that'll be good. Have we put in you? We have. I had this set to be paused because I was worried that I would miss things. So let's put you in. Let's prioritize you. Does need more treated planks, which is a bit of a challenge for us at the moment, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Logs are kind of holding steady. I guess if I move that, I'm going to put that here. Hopefully it'll still connect to that. Yep. And then we're going to contamination barrier across there. I'm hoping that will give us that back in time. Which would be good. And the fact that we pump water, I mean, we should maybe, I've had a thought. If we pumped all of our water out of here, we could use this for power generation just from the flow from the water being pumped. I mean, our water is still going down, so we possibly need even more pumping capacity. So let's put in another triple pump or bigger pump. Our other concern is we're increasing the contamination because there's not a lot of flow down here. So we might actually want to put bad water pumps in here to pump out the bad water, because this is quite low productivity. Yeah, I think I'm going to put one here. I'm going to get rid of this. And let's do that. Let's then get rid of this guy. Put that there. Get rid of you and put you there. And prioritize that. And then I think with that gone, we'll put a bad water pump in that corner. You can go there, and we'll put in a stream gauge there. And let's prioritize those a little bit. And then, yeah, I do wonder if then we want to focus on being able to get more water flowing. Right. So you're just waiting for treated planks. You're also waiting for treated planks, but because we've prioritized this, they're going here first, which is fine. We're then gonna get out here and build this. This is going to be made of dirt. I'm gonna demolish a few of these. Yes, we're going to get injuries, but we've got quite a big workforce, so I think it will be okay. And we're also going to demolish you and demolish you. Not that we really need the science from it, but I can't resist it. Those are being built, but we need planks. But that would be kind of cool to get that in and probably extend it round in a circle at some point. And I've just realised that the whole time I've had the tutorial on display, and I apologise for that, folks. It's probably annoying some of you. Right. And they are starting to work on building the next lot. This, which is kind of cool. We are short of planks, so that's annoying. And we've actually dropped the water by a reasonable amount in that period. We've receded it by about 0.4. We're winning, folks. We're winning. The bigger population of 214 beavers. Now we are kind of struggling on the food front still. But let's get our extra farm in. Efficient farmhouse. You. Let's prioritize getting you built. Let's prioritize getting those built. And we are pretty low on potatoes still. I'm going to go for more potatoes. Yeah, they're kind of boring, but if it keeps the beavers fed, then it'll be a good thing. Plant crops, potatoes, bosh. We're kind of short on yeah, we've got a problem with the contamination level in here now due to how much clean water we've pumped out. We've got a problem with, can't think of what I was going to say. Oh, anyway, lack of treated planks. That was what I was going to say. Right, let's unpause you, and then there should be one under there as well. But this only needs 3 more tunnel pieces to get us out, which is pretty cool. I didn't actually have that one paused, so we are going to need some ladders in there, but you know, let's make sure you're prioritized by haulers. That'll be good. But I think this is the first time that we've made a noticeable drop in the height of the water during the drought. And that is pretty freaking awesome. So this is now flowing at 1.5 still. So yeah, we do need, and I say to me, it looks like the limiting factor is this, because this is full. So kind of thinking that we encourage them down here now. And then what I want to do is just open this up as a straight shot. So tunnel you out. Because it's doing all kinds of weird stuff. And I guess maybe platform there, tunnel you out. Platform there, platform there. Tunneling, tunnel all of that. So it's just a complete straight shot through with no faffing. And I think that might help. Because I don't think these particularly have a flow limit. I might check that, but then I guess what we want to do is have this put out a pond that's me hitting my microphone. Apologies for that. And automate, create rule. Pond contam greater than 0.01. Resume, save, duplicate, invert, script. Yeah. See if that works for us. And then I guess we don't need you. I doubt they've built any of that, so you can go. Yeah, let's encourage them to finish that. let's make sure you're prioritized. Now pull the contamination out of there, which is good. You are just waiting on the last few treated planks, but we're quite low on planks, which is kind of to be expected, having built one of those. You guys are waiting on planks, but we're hemorrhaging treated planks, so, you know, that adds up. Food-wise, we are pretty low. I feel like we could do with another one of these. And what I'm thinking is we throw it back here. Prioritize the build of it. I'm going to change the automation to be off of relay 1. I'm going to give them a storage for flour. Sorry, for wheat. That's set to obtain. Because we've got a lot of wheat, but not a lot of flour, and that's impacting our ability to produce bread, I think. And then we've not got a lot of potatoes, so that's impacting our ability to produce anything. Now, I am growing carrots still, and that's partly because carrots don't need logs. So they give us some food that the beavers can eat if we run out of logs. You know. So you're still measuring 4%, so you're still working. You're just kind of doing your thing. We've got 1,500 waters. How are we looking on the outside? We're not yet back up to this level, so we have got a bit of room to breathe. We're just creeping up there on day 4. That's kind of cool. So yeah, we need a lot of planks now. Which means we need a lot of logs. We need a lot of logs, folks. So we are kind of into being a little bit limited on how we can progress. Which might cause us some issues, but we'll see how we get on. And that might mean we can prioritize some other things. Kind of like to prioritize getting that done, but that needs some more treated planks. And a lot of things need treated planks, it would appear. But our water supply is just about holding up. This is helping to pull out slowly bad. I mean, it's actually at 87% productivity, which I find kind of crazy. It is taking the contamination out of this, which is pretty cool. I mean, this has contamination around it, but and this is letting contamination through, but you know, these are running again, which is good. And we just need them to make 6 more treated planks to get this thing built. And I think it's purely because we're so short on planks. But that'll sort itself out with a little bit of work. How are we for pine resin? 78. I don't think we want to be... You can't reach across to there. So I'm going to duplicate you. Bring you in here. Go eat beavers. I guess you need to be prioritized so that they actually bring you over some food. You do have some rules. Cool. So you will get built. We have a little bit of food. We have a lot of hungry beavers. I'm not sure why we have thirsty beavers, because we do at least have moisture. Why are you not unpausing? because you've harvested all of the words, berries. And we've harvested all of the potatoes. So we kind of need food to grow, and we need wheat to be wheated. So let's make sure you're prioritized by haulers. I guess we probably want a wheat flour store set to supply. It's also prioritized by haulers, and we'll get that built. That's a lot of hungry beaver, folks. We've also got a lot of spare beavers. So can I squeeze in yet another hauling post? Because more haulers would help us rather a lot at the moment. We need 6 more treated planks. I'm not sure there's anywhere I can get planks from currently. And we kind of need those. So, and we're then going to need... I'm going to cheese this. That offends you. Well, tough. And I'm going to get rid of that. Because we're going to use a ladder. And then we're going to do some cheese here. And then we're going to use ladders. Set just so. Like so. And then that will let them tunnel through all of that. And they should be able to build most of that, I believe. Awesome. Yeah. How are these potatoes? They're at 80%. These are at random percentages. So, yeah, we have 83 wheat, which yields 83 flour, which will yield like 500 bread. So we just need them to be doing more. I think what we'll do is let's grab, because we've got so many beavers, let's put a bakery over here right next to, I mean, it's going to take more logs and planks, which we're kind of short of. So let's unpause the planker makers. And I'm going to cut those trees down again because we need them, and these should be marked to be cut as well, and we'll just keep that minimal patch of pine trees for pine resin, and let's re-enable the automation rules for those. And we're looking for dirt. We're up to 208 dirt, which is kind of nice. Yeah. Big population spike, bad. You might want to... just looking at the water as well, kind of pondering, because it's actually sitting pretty stably. We're kind of getting through the water at a pretty good rate. Yeah, it almost makes me think we don't need to bother with the roof. You can actually see bits of bad water in it, which is kind of freaky, and a bad tide will hamper us a lot. A lot. Yeah. A lot. Have we built these yet? No. Probably because we need planks. Yep, we need planks. which means we need logs, and we're short of logs. So let's speed the game up. Let's speed the game up. Yeah, I think I've got this shot at the moment, so... we are still at 3% contamination. It's kind of surprising. I think what we need longer term is something to take the bad water out of the exterior bit and store it. We will work on that. We will work on that. So yeah, we do need more potatoes to be, I was going to say hatching, but potatoes don't hatch, do they, folks? Nope, no they don't. So you're being built. Are you, yeah, you've got, oh, you don't have logs. That'd be the problem. There's your problem. There's your problem. I'm going to do what a bunch of you suggested. And because we don't need the science particularly at the moment. No, we can't delete those because they transfer the power. Let's regain a bunch of logs. And I'm hoping that some of them will go towards food production. Because that would be good. Would be good. This reminds, if you watched Frosty Whiskers, this reminds me intensely of watching them not take nano machines to the repair factory to repair the bots. Yeah. And I know I probably grew the population way too fast. And do you know what will happen? It'll right-size itself, folks. Beavers will die. It's part of the natural process. This doesn't bother me, the whole kind of boom bust thing. It bothers some players / content creators. It does not bother me. It's part of the cycle of beaver life in a harsh world. You know, they'll be fine. We could do with more water being pumped. That is a reality. Which means we could do with this being finished, but that means we need more planks. So, if we could keep this lower, or it would come higher, I'd be tempted to build some normal water pumps up here, so that we could pump water out of it. But at the moment, we're kind of struggling with that. So, you know, we got this. We've got that one all the way up. That's kind of cool. So we've got access to both sides now, which is pretty awesome. And we're trying to get the bones of stuff built. So that's kind of funky. You know, I guess that's too far because they need that built. Yeah, that's fine. You know, and again, we could think about planting some trees up here. If we could guarantee keeping it. Could we plant birch trees up here? There's a thought, folks. We're just about managing to keep it. And if you don't look inside, you can then ignore all of the hungry beavers. I'm kind of hoping that they're occasionally getting something to stop them being super starving. As we keep all of the food production, the 4 key food production buildings running. So, and that's almost built. That just needs some gears. So, I'm going to pause the automation on that and force that to run, because otherwise it will keep stopping because we're short of planks. And yes, the well-being has plummeted. Yes, this will bug some of you. As the population drops, we've got so many spare beavers, then it'll sort itself out, you know. It'll sort itself out. I'm guessing the outside must have kind of a base contamination of a similar amount, which is why we're staying at that 2%. Now, water's actually dropping quite rapidly, which is a little bit worrying. I would rather you were working harder. Can we get this finished, please? It only needs 4 treated planks. You are prioritised by haulers. And what's the other way we can resolve this? The problem is if I put pumps here, they're going to keep flooding. I think we'll hang on for a bit and see if we can get this finished. I am going to remove the automation from that so that it stops pausing as well. Because that should help. Because then they should take some planks to it, hopefully. And get that done. We've got enough pine resin to finish it, so I'm going to low prioritize the build of that. That is high prioritized, which is good. Just all the beavers are hungry, I think. All the beavers are hungry. We have the components to make food. They're just struggling to make it, you know, or make it fast enough, I guess. So, did we get the other one made yet? No, we didn't. Probably because we haven't made any gears yet. No. We are making some treated planks, which means, because we're only down to 200 water. Damn. We need to do a lot of water pumping, folks. Could really do with the drought kicking in, because then we can just pump a load of water out of this and then chuck in some water pumps. And I'm kind of pushing this to the limit. But I think getting this in will make a big difference. Because this is the equivalent of 3 pumps, so... You know. Just need them to, and we lost water pumping capacity with it going. There are enough in there, which we also need them to be making gears. They're making food, which is good. It's not enough food. They are fully stocked, so... I think we're just going to have a bit of a population right-sizing, as a lot of beavers starve to death. Which is fine, because we then won't have the excess beavers. That is not a problem. What I'd like, though, is to get this finished. Not that one, not that finished, that finished. Because I don't like running out of water when we are surrounded by water. Water, water, and not a drop to drink, as they say. You know, one more treated plank. And then we can put that back to automation rules. I mean, we probably can now, actually, because it's got 6 planks in it. So that'll be fine. How are we looking on the outside? Still just kind of hovering statically, which is good. I kind of wish we had pumps outside now. Come on, someone bring us a treated plank as we dropped 27 water. I'm kind of shocked that these can't keep up with the food requirement. We've got potatoes. They've got some logs. Someone suggested one could do 100 beavers, and we've got 190 beavers. And it's not their only food source, so, you know. But that could be a consequence of the really rapid population growth that we did. Right, you're pumping water as well, so we've now got 3 large water pumps. That should be enough. That should be enough, he says, not confidently. As it drops to 0 water overnight. But hopefully it will recover in the morning. I've been going for an hour and a quarter. We're going to have to stop in a moment, folks, on a bit of a cliffhanger. Having secured not flooding, we now need to secure survival. Now, I think we can do that because our population is immense. And we have a drought approaching. So I think the way that we manage that is we water. If we get the supplies to make a few large pumps sorted, I'm almost tempted to knock building that off and rebuild it. Yeah, so I think with the resources from this, which gives us the bakery finished, which hopefully will help with the food as long as someone brings us some logs. We have 72 logs now. We are still getting deaths from starvation, which is fine. It will be fine, honest. The drought is going to have the effect of dropping this water level again. And I think what we do is I'm going to account for that. Do I build them further out though? What I'm thinking is doing something like this, which is going to use a ton of planks, which might not be smart, but does mean it can pump for a bit longer. And put that in. But that does mean we need to make a lot of logs. So, but assuming that we can get that done for the drought, that'll be really good. Now, these guys will be supplied through the drought anyway, so that's fine. But I would just like to get even more water pumping capacity happening So yeah, and I think probably we want to give that a bit of a priority nudge. So yeah, and I think we're just going to see a bit of a population right sizing. Which is fine, I say. And it probably sounds like I'm trying to convince myself as much as I'm trying to convince you. But yeah, we'll be okay. We'll be okay. But yeah, as soon as the drought kicks in, this water level will drop pretty quickly. We can still pump water. We're still farming food. So the population will drop to a level that's sustainable. We can then expand our ability to pump water. That might allow us to keep this low enough to keep these pumps running. And if we can do that, we can then farm some of this. I'm kind of thinking that given how things are looking, we could quite easily put a forester here, plant some birch trees because they grow nice and quick. They're not super efficient, but more trees is more gooder, as the saying goes. And if we can get some quick growing lumber coming out of this, it'll be good. So yeah, the population has plummeted to 120 from our peak of 200 odd. And I guess what we need to do is make sure that we are prioritizing the right jobs. So let's do some managing of things. We've got a bit of time, so, it's okay. It's okay now. We are not in complete panic mode with the building and such. So let's just looking for you can go as well. That leaves us 4 short, which I think is fine. And we'll make you moderately low priority. It's going to slow down our building, but we'll be okay. As the drought starts, and that should see the water level here drop. We could even put a farming up here now. And just throw in a bunch of carrots. Just a bunch of super basic carrots. Because that's just logs. Let's grab the rules. Right, to you, get you built. And yep, that's dropped away, which is awesome, which means we can then plant even more carrots. The reason I'm doing carrots is because they don't require anything to process them. Which is obviously better for being short of logs and things. So, yeah. Anyway, folks, that's going to be it for today. I hope you enjoyed that. Yes, I made more mistakes. It is life. But I will see you all next time.